Welcome back to Badger Blitz TV, your Rivals.com destination for all things Wisconsin athletics. From the recruiting trail to inside Camp Randall Stadium to on the court at the Kohl Center, I'm Matt Perkins, joined, as always, by the man, the myth, the legend, Rivals.com national recruiting analyst, Clint Cosgrove. Clint, another great day with you, as always, buddy.
It's a great day, man. What does that say in the back? Be awesome?
Be awesome today. Be awesome.
Be
today.
awesome today.
Yep.
That's what we got to do. Be awesome today.
Well, we got to be awesome today. People in the den, been really engaging with us this week on the boards, really getting after us to talk a little bit more, especially when it comes to quarterback recruiting. So you guys need to go back to the den, check out the thread to really get Clint's deep passions and insights into Wisconsin quarterback recruiting. He breaks it down really well. Today, Clint and I are going to take a look at some guys from John McNamara, the Badger Blitz publisher. He gave his ideal class 8.0 earlier last week. And there are a couple guys on that list that are not currently committed to Wisconsin that we want to take a look at. One of those guys we're not going to look at is Ashton Saunders, the defensive tackle who just decommitted from Cal. We've talked about him before. There's so much stuff out there on Ashton. You guys can find that anywhere else. We're here with Clint to dive a little bit deeper, to maybe get into some guys that you didn't know as much about when you first read up on that list. And so we're going to go through some of these guys, and we're going to start with a quarterback, and that's Parker Lees, who's quarterback at IMG, but he's not the starter. And so, we've seen guys before be high school backups and have college success. Kyle Trask. Just a couple of years ago, he was De'Aaron King's backup in high school. He turned into a pretty darn good college quarterback himself. So it's not the end, especially if you're at one of these super high end programs, right? You're going to have, in that quarterback room at IMG, probably 5 kids who are going to be D1 players. So it's not like the biggest slight on him, but he hasn't been the main guy yet at IMG. I'm curious to see what happens with his senior season. But he's someone that John mentioned, Clint, that we should sort of start to keep an eye out on. So we're going to, turn the film on for him. But do you have any, sort of thoughts here right off the jump, Clint?
Yeah, so Parker's a Kansas kid who went down to IMG. I think this will be his first full season there. Like you said, there's always going to be a lot of quarterbacks in that room. Without being a genius when it comes to IMG football, outside of JJ McCarthy, maybe a couple of years ago, I can't remember a guy who was like really the man there. So he's going to get some opportunities to throw the ball around. I know they have multiple teams, so even if he's not the top guy on the top team, he's going to get a chance. He's a guy who's still out there, obviously, had a couple early offers. Not sure if those are committable anymore. So he's definitely still out there looking. He's a senior eval. For most teams, he has a above average, ability to move in the pocket. He's a little duck footed, but you see it there. Like, he's serviceable runner. Are you going to sit there and run zone read with him all game and major in that? Probably not. But he is a serviceable runner. He can keep plays alive with his feet. And some of his best plays are really on the run. But then you also see him, sling it in the pocket as well. He's got a compact release. I wouldn't say he's got a high end arm in terms of velocity and strength on his throws, but again, very serviceable. So he's a very well-rounded quarterback. Would I put it past him to have success at the next level? Absolutely not. He kind of reminds me of the quarterback from Kent State who had a great career there. But it's one of those things that he's going to have a good senior year. He's one of those guys that doesn't wow you in any one area, but he's very, very serviceable in every area. He's an accurate passer. He's got pretty good mechanics. Like I said, serviceable runner. He can do some damage, and you don't put it past these kids. This is why you always see a MAC team or a AAC team that has a draft pick, because they do a good job at evaluating these guys, identifying the guys that the big schools have not gone after, and then staying with them and really signing them in the end. So quarterback can be a crapshoot. There's so much that goes into success at the next level. It's a very heady position, as we've seen with our guy Mertz. And I said it on the den. I said, his biggest detriment to his development was probably the amount of success he had in his first game. All of a sudden things seemed a little too easy, and you get a false sense of reality, I think. And, it's almost better to face that adversity early on and have to battle and scrape through it and have some battle scars when you start producing. So yeah, I wouldn't put it past Parker. I don't know if he's going to be a top guy for him, but he's definitely a guy in the wheelhouse.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so the next guy we're going to talk about, though, is tight end Ryder Kurtz, big kid, 6'5", 235, 240, coming out of my home state, your former home state of New Hampshire, St. Paul School. You guys, if you've been following recruiting, especially Badger recruiting, you guys will remember a couple of years ago, Parker McQuarrie, the big 6'7" quarterback, was out of St. Paul's, same school as well. They've put plenty, he was a 4-star, ended up signing with UCLA, then hit the portal this offseason. They've been putting out some talent, though, at St. Paul's. I know when you were at Dartmouth, Clint, I'm sure you guys were down there recruiting, super high academic standards at St. Paul's, one of the best prep schools in the country. But on the football field, he's a big athlete. He plays receiver for them. To me, he's definitely going to project as an H-back in Wisconsin's offense. I don't see him as an inline kid that he hasn't shown the ability to block, but he could definitely catch the ball.
Yeah. The things that really stand out about him is, one, you see the frame, tall kid, and then the overall body control. He is very skilled, very natural in his movements, a little tight in the hips. You'd like to see a little more flexibility, and as stupid as that sounds, but that can make a big difference at the next level when you're trying to snap off routes, get open, and go against guys who have equal size to you, who might be stronger and equal athletic ability. He's a man amongst boys in these games, it seems like. But, you see him track the ball on that first play. He does it again here. He's going to go up and snatch it. He's just mossing people in the back of the end zone. And that's what you see a lot of his film. He's a size mismatch, and he knows how to get open. And then you see the way that he can track the ball, catches it with his hands. He uses his body to the best of his ability. His top end speed, I'm not sure what that is. And so I would like to see him grow into an inline type of guy. Without seeing him in person, that's hard for me. Today was the first time I really watched his film when we were talking beforehand. But you'll see here, I don't know if he's going up against a world beater at corner. I don't think he's going to see players like that in the Big Ten either. So I'd like to see him, how he matches up against a guy maybe more his size. Can he be a mismatch against an athletic linebacker at the next level? Is he going to be able to go up and beat him for a 50-50 ball? Is he going to be able to gain separation at the at the point of where the ball's coming? And then, how does he develop frame-wise? I would love to see a kid who's built like this, who runs like this, to be able to be an inline guy, maybe a jumbo slot at worst, as you would say.
Your new favorite term, Clint. I love it.
It is, man. I've used it in evals now. It's amazing. I think I've used it in a couple articles as well.
Yeah, projects as a jumbo slot at the next level. But so for me, there are a couple things that I like about him besides my homerism for the state of New Hampshire. And one of those is you mentioned the way he uses his body. And I think he does a great job of shielding defenders off from the ball using his frame. And obviously he's able to take advantage of that. When he's going against this 5'5" corner, but that ability to catch that overhang, like over his shoulder, one hand. I mean, that's special.
Yeah.
And
that's impressive.
Yeah.
Tracking the ball like that. And then you look, it was in the sun too.
Mm-hmm. And so I like that. And I think that I don't think he would necessarily time well track wise, but he also just appears to be someone who runs naturally. It's not like a stilted gait. It's not the fastest, it's loping, but it's still a natural running movement, which is a good sign for his overall athleticism.
Yeah, I mean, he's fluid. I mean, you see him do it here. Would I like to see him do it against a higher level of competition? Yes. But at the same time, you don't choose who you play against. And he's out there making the most against his competition. And you see things that do, project to the next level. So, he's a guy with upside. To find a kid like that in New Hampshire, I understand it's a school that's put out some kids and it's high academics. So, definitely in Wisconsin's wheelhouse. But they're digging. So it'll be interesting to see how that one plays out. I'd love to see him in person, be able to get a physical eval. And I do think, you see a kid with a lot of upside. So to me, it's all about the upside, obviously. But if he's not going to be that guy who's tearing it up down the field and running away from people? Is he going to be able to grow into that guy who can make a presence as far as a downfield blocker and everything like that as well? That's what I'll be looking for out of him.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talk about upside, and especially at this point in the 2023 cycle, that's what you're shooting at, because especially Clint, I know you've talked to guys and have said the same thing. Like, spots are drying up real fast. They're drying up real fast. I mean, you go back and look, and I was using the Rivals sort of recruiting database today, just like looking through, who's still out there. There isn't a quarterback rated above a 5.6 available. Like, that's incredible.
Yeah.
That's absolutely incredible to me. And, especially at a lot of the premium positions, it's just stuff is pretty much wrapped up. One of the biggest premium positions in the game right now is corner. Wisconsin's done a very good job of, developing D-backs, especially under Jimmy Leonard, to be excellent players at the collegiate level. There's a kid who's got a really nice frame that was mentioned by John. That's Sabur Kareem, 6'3", 180 out of West Orange, New Jersey. He's got a Wisconsin offer. He has 25 total offers, in fact. He's probably a little bit of an Illinois lean at this point, but he's got, legit offers, big-time programs, Virginia Tech, West Virginia, Wisconsin, like I mentioned, Pitt, Louisville. He's a kid that I think is interesting as a prospect, especially when it comes to what is his athleticism on the field and what is his athleticism off the field, and sort of how can he take it to the next level? Because I think he's definitely got the length that you're looking for at corner.
Yeah, I mean, he's the prototype when you go in as far as length, frame, and playing ability. I mean, the kid's a heck of a football player, and he's got a next level frame. And when I say next level, not college level, but NFL level. I mean, this is what, coaches love. Now, a lot of the time when you get these tall, long guys, they're not always the most fluid or the fastest all the time, but they cover a lot of ground and they use their length to make up for things that they may lack in other areas. And that's why coaches, they love the long corners,
especially with the long arms. It seems they really want guys with like really long arms.
Yeah, because you don't have to be perfect in your technique every single time. If you have that length, if you're a little slow out of your break, you're going to be okay because you can make it up. An extra 4 inches on your arm can be the difference of like a tenth of a second, so like that's a big deal. So you can be, not that you would ever want to be sloppy technique, but there's not going to be a perfect technician every time, especially at the defensive back position where it requires you to kind of freelance a little bit as well. Not everything's just point A to point B. There's a lot of, as you see that DB right there, and he kind of gave up on the play, but if he had some length, he might have been able to grab him a little and stay in phase and break it up. So that's the thing that you love here. His track times, they're average. You would like to see a little more out of a kid who's going to be a corner at the next level.
Now, to be fair, Clint, those were indoor times we were looking at, not outdoor times. So they will tend to be a tick slower, especially in the 400.
And the 200 because you're going around a full curve.
Yep. Exactly, and you have to go around the track twice in the indoor floor. But I think he's really interesting the more I watch him, because I think he has some good natural instincts as well. And you see the tools there, right? We're talking about an upside play. He's an absolute upside play. I don't hate him as a receiver either.
I like him better as a receiver, and I rarely say that, but like the way he makes the contested catches, and then like on that last one, the way he stayed in phase and then drifted off right when the ball came there, like you can't teach. I mean, you can teach that, but like that's natural ability. So I do love his body control. I love his length. You saw him flip his hips a couple times there on the film while playing defensive back, and he just seems to have a really good feel for the field. So when you're talking upside plays, this is the kind of upside play that you make. Kid with length, a kid that has some athleticism, has good body control. And, if he doesn't work out at defensive back, he's going to be able to play on the other side of the ball as well. I love what I saw right there. His closing in and not afraid to be physical shows you that he can play some safety probably as well. So, if you're gonna make a projection play, let's make one that has some length and some size and some versatility. And he definitely checks all of those boxes.
Yeah, I think he really does. And, another defensive back that they are looking at is Safety KP Price out of Towson, Maryland. He's another taller, rangier kid, 6'1", 183. He's got 17 offers himself. Some big ones as well. He's got the Virginia Tech, the West Virginia. And so he's a kid that, as I watch, I don't think he maybe has the same quite athletic peak that we saw in Kareem, but I think that he's actually it just seems like a very heady player when you watch him on film.
Yeah, I think it's like the first or second clip where he just sees the ball and runs to it. And but no, I really like KP. When we were watching these earlier, he doesn't have the same length, but he does have some good size. And his field, just as the way he sees the field, his field vision, his feel for the game, you're going to see him here track down the ball carrier, high motor kid, good pursuit angle. The kid dips inside, and he was able to read the hips and see that he was never really going inside. Kept his same pursuit angle, understands angles, runs through the tackle. There's just something about this kid that I really like. I don't have any verified measurables, verified speed, but I know the kid can play the game. I want to see how physical he can be. He has a good frame. You see him pop the ball out there, but also he's tackling, like me, a little bit of an ankle biter there, and I'm just giving myself crap. But you see him come and be physical later on. So you want to see more of that, and I think he's he's pretty, for a guy you're looking for an upside play on. I mean, he's pretty sound football player, if you ask me. I just love his instincts. You see him line up in the box there. I don't know if he's ready to take on power, but he seems to have the want to, where, he sits there, takes on a block, even wrong shoulders it and finds a way to keep it inside. So this kid has some, you see right there, he sees the field well. He's in zone there. He sees the receiver, sees the quarterback, reads the intentions, and goes up and picks the ball. And then you also see him, start and stop, and he's a twitched up guy. He can change direction. So there's a lot to like here. See him come off the edge there, another twitchy play. And I think he has a great feel for the game. And, he'd be a good fit in Coach Leonard's defense.
Yeah, I think that you could definitely see him playing, especially as they go to more and more 3 safety looks, because he's able to roll down in the slot like you saw him do there. And, just college football in general is going to, it's 5-6 defensive backs on the field almost at all times at this point. So you have to be able to be that kind of versatile in the defensive backfield.
Yeah, there's a lot to like about him. He's a kid that I would seriously consider offering.
Yeah. So one more guy that was not on John's article, but I'm very interested by, and he doesn't have a Wisconsin offer. We know they've been in contact with him, is a kid out of Indiana, and that is Philip Roche. And he is, the biggest thing about him is he's going to be a tweener, right? He's going to be a tweener. He's listed, Clint, at I think about
like 6'1", 190.
Yeah, 6'1", 190. He looks 210 on film, to be honest with you, though. Like, he looks bigger than that when you when you turn on the film. It says 190, but like, I swear when I'm watching him, I'm watching someone who's at 210 or 220, because
he plays big. He plays like a linebacker.
Yeah, he definitely does. And so I know he's got a couple teammates. He's going to go here and track down this kid from the back end and just say, nope, that's actually my ball, and I'm going to take it from you and run it back. And so, yeah, come on. It's like stuff like that. You talk about the grit, the want to, and things like that. And you got to admire a kid who's going to play like that and, play to the echo of the whistle. We'll get a second angle of that play right here.
To run it down, not only not give up on the play, but to run it down and then have the aptitude to find the ball and rip it out, while also securing the tackle too. You see him; he didn't just go for the ball; he secured the tackle. So he's going to give his team a chance to play another down if he doesn't get the ball, but to have that instinct to go after the ball. Not only is he well coached, but that takes some cojones to go in and do that as well. And so you gotta love that. You gotta love the way he plays the game. He plays it fast. He's got a nice frame. He's very versatile. Like you said, he's kind of a tweener between defensive back, outside linebacker. How big can he get? How tall is he? But we know for sure he can come off the edge, and he's like a heat-seeking missile. He runs through contact, closes in on the ball carrier, very fluid in his movements, love his change of direction, love the way he chases, love the way he sees. There's a lot to like about him here.
Yeah, so like I think I could see him as like, And somebody, I think like Georgia calls it a star position, where it's like sort of almost like a hybrid linebacker safety. The thing is that in Jimmy Leonard's defense, they don't really have a position that functions like that because he has like a bunch of these skill set. I think he's a kid that you would want to see lined up on a jumbo slot. Like I would, he's fast enough to cover the slot kid in, but he can also, tackle and be physical enough. You see him one-hand interception, backhand right there. I mean, I think there's a lot to like about him. He's got D1 teammates too. What, a couple kids going to Colorado State, I think you said?
Yeah, I think the receiver's going to Colorado State. He's got a running back, Jaden Hart, I believe, is at Maryville too. And he's going to be a D1 kid. He wasn't able to make it out to a lot of things this summer, but he'll be around and he'll be making his presence next year as well. So it's a good football team. They've put out players in the past as well. It really comes down to, what is the need that Wisconsin is trying to fill and who's the best guy to fill it. And it's not saying that they just automatically get all of these kids either. 3-game film is going to be really important for a kid like this. And because there is a need out there, so many kids are committed early and people don't realize what's about to happen. At least what I'm forecasting is going to happen because we've never seen this before. You have a combination of the fear of not being able to commit or losing out on a spot because they saw 2 years of COVID of their teammates, of kids not having places to go that were Division I kids that ended up playing D3 ball or not playing at all. And then the extra year. And then you add in the new summer visits. So these guys are going on their official visits. Everybody wants to be committed before their senior season. Some of these guys have never even been to a game at the school that they're committed to and planning on signing on. And so I think a lot is going to change. It's all projection when it comes to this as well, because we haven't seen it coming up. I mean, when else did we come out of a pandemic, get summer visits, and no longer people get an extra year of eligibility? And then with the transfer portal involved as well. So, I mean, like, there's just so many things. And it's almost like the kids are, you don't want to leave yourself out there too long, because the longer you're not committed, then college teams start saying, well, why isn't he committed? Is there a reason? Okay, what's wrong with him? And so it's a very interesting landscape in college football recruiting right now. I find myself asking the same questions. So why is this kid committed to this school when he seems like he's, an SEC talent? And then you've got why isn't he committed yet? When in the past, you'd be like, you might start asking that stuff a month before signing day if they're not the big time talent who can, just play it as they please. So I think it's going to get interesting. You got to keep evaluating. These are kids that are awesome to have, because if you can land them early, there's a chance if they commit later in the process, unless a big time Alabama or something like that comes in on them, you got a better chance at sticking with them if you stuck with them during the process when they were still kind of, trying to feel things out and didn't have the whole world after them. But I think we're going to see a lot of flipping. We're going to see a lot of deep evals. Out of necessity, we might go back to the senior eval this year. And it's something we haven't seen in years outside of a couple teams at the Power 5 level. So it'll be very interesting to see. These guys are all in play, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think they are. And, one thing before we sign off, Clint, tonight you are headed up to Milwaukee. You're going to see
Milwaukee.
You're going to see Catholic Memorial and Franklin face off against each other in person. What do you want to see out of Corey Smith and Donovan Harbor? What do you need to see out of them to, how will you have want to have seen them grown in the past offseason?
Yeah, for me, Harbor, I want to see him get after people. I want to see him take that next step. He's a young kid still. Well, this is his junior year now. This is time where you assert your dominance. I want to see him do that. He's got all the ability in the world to do it. Let's see what kind of dog he's got in him, because Franklin's always has good linemen. They always have good linemen. They're a physical team. They play hard. So I want to see him match that physicalness. I want him to see it, take it to the next level. I want to see him bury dudes, and then not only bury them and go 1-for-1, but bury them and take it to the next level, take out a linebacker, take out a safety, and run with Smith all the way to the end zone. On the other hand, this is going to be a physical game. Let's see how physical that he wants to be. Is he going to get his nose dirty? Is he going to run into that swarm of defenders that are coming after him? Is he going to break tackles? Is he going to deliver the blows instead of take them as a running back? And that's what I'm really excited to see. We know he's got the athleticism. So I expect him to break a home run. I want to see at least one home run ball. But I want to see him break some tackles. I want to see him run, match the physicality, bring the physicalness from himself. Let's see if he can do a little dancing in the backfield, make somebody miss. But I'm really excited to see both those guys. There's a bunch of players in this game. There's young guys. There's older guys who haven't gotten a lot of traction in the recruitment. Like I believe Keith Williams is still there, a linebacker at Catholic Memorial. But there's some players in this game, and so I'm excited for it. First game of the year is always. I've got butterflies. I can't imagine what it's like for them. I'll be listening to my pregame music on the way up, but I'm fired up, man. I can't wait to get out to the game and watch these kids get after it. Like,
that'll be awesome. I'm jealous. I wish I could be there with you, bro. But you know, I'm gonna watch whatever tape I can get of this game. I want to see if he gets involved in the passing game more. I want to see if they're going to start to utilize him that way as a weapon. And you mentioned, because they're going against Franklin, how does he look between the tackles? And is he comfortable? Can he get tight in the hole when he needs to? And what's his patience looking like when the holes aren't 6 feet wide against some of the competition that we've seen? So that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for all the Badger fans who are going out. You know, football's back, dude. Football is like, it's back.
I'm gonna have to watch Varsity Blues on the car ride up. I wish I had somebody to drive me so I could get my full satisfaction out of it. Get to the field, pregame music, get some film, get some videos, get some pictures, and maybe get some interviews afterwards. So should be a good one, and I'm looking forward to get a new eval on these guys.
Awesome. Well, we will talk all about that and more next week here. We appreciate all of you guys spending a little bit of time with us here on Badger Blitz TV. Make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube page, hit that like button, and you can check out Clint anywhere you find your social medias at rival_Clint. I'm at _Perko_. No rivals in there yet. Check out me on the Believe in Badger Football podcast. Just recorded an episode yesterday with Matt Shabert and Matt Bernstein, my podcast partner. 3 Matts, all wearing red polos, cutting it up. It was a great time. Clint, we need you. We really needed you there though for that one. I think that would have been epic.
That might have been. It might have been bad if I showed up. Did you tell him that I might pop in?
Nope.
Oh my God, he would have died. He'd be like, "Get out of here!" No.
No, I told Byrne that you might, but we didn't tell Shave. We wanted to be a surprise.
Was he like, oh my God,
he was very excited about the possibility of that happening.
I was so mad. I was traveling, I couldn't. But dude, if you film with him again, hopefully he doesn't see this, and I will pop in.
That sounds awesome. All right, guys. Well, thank you again to everyone out there watching, and until next time, we will see you in the den.
See you in the den.